Let's get into trending topics for now. And of course, Hammanskraal is a very, very big talking point. And in fact, more of a talking point, it's a very worrying thing at the moment where we are seeing that around 10 people have actually died in the area after the outbreak of is it, I think I'm pronouncing this very wrong. Is it diarrheal disease? Diarrhea? Okay.
Diarrheal disease.
Something like that, but it's absolutely devastating right now. 10 people, and I'm reading reports that the 37 patients that were admitted are in a critical condition. So this is desperate with the state of the water.
Indeed, and now there's talk about a cholera outbreak. And I think what makes this worse is that the water situation in Hammanskraal is by no means new. This has been ongoing for a long, long time. And now people are told not to drink the tap water, not to use it in cooking. Great. Have we provided them with bottled water or safe drinking water? Because that becomes the next question.
Yeah.
But it's an absolute tragedy that's playing out in Hammanskraal. And, it remains to be seen how the authorities are going to deal with this decisively.
Yeah.
We've been told that the results will be back for the water tests on Wednesday. So as we wait for that, people still need to continue living.
Yeah, this is something we'll be talking about in the next hour of the program, so please do stay tuned for that, just so we can give you a bit more information. But it truly devastating. They're saying that, while water supplied in Hammanskraal is not potable, the city has provided drinking water, 52 water tankers to informal settlements, 3 times a week, 40 water trucks to formal areas in Region 2. So that's what authorities are saying, but we would love to hear from you in Hammanskraal. If you're watching us, if you are aware of the situation, please, 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 we want to hear from you and how it is affecting you. So that's a very big talking point today.
Indeed.
Lindiwe
The next one, hashtag Lindiwe Sisulu. So this was at the funeral of Bali Masetla this weekend, where Lindiwe Sisulu was one of the speakers, and people are talking about the fact that Lindiwe used what they say is a racial, a tribalistic slur, as it were, because she was narrating a story about how when she came out of prison, she was asked by Joe Qabi and others who had then been arrested to find a certain lawyer. And she said, she described it as a Shangani surname, Shangani sounding surname. And some took offense to that, saying that is tribalistic. And this is where the whole Lindiwe Sisulu trend starts.
All right, so that's Lindiwe Sisulu. You'll see it there trending quite up there at the top, as well as I see Angie Motshekga is also, Minister, is trending there. We haven't got it on our list, but I saw that popping up there, and it's got to do with, the state of education in the country. So that's one thing that I know people still talking to this, and that not being able to read to understand. And I think people are taking that very seriously. But Prince Mashele is another one of those trending topics. And this came out yesterday. I think it was a Sunday Times expose where they were basically saying that the book that Prince Mashele wrote, he said he had written a book on Herman Mashaba, and this was an unauthorized biography or a critique of Action SA's leader, and his sort of political affiliations and everything. It now turns out that Mashaba actually funded this book. He funded the book that Prince Mashele wrote as an unauthorized biography to the tune of around about 12.5 million rand. And it's a lot. An unauthorized book is one that is written without the permission or approval of the subject. Just to give you a definition. But when you're paying that amount of money, so it's a story that's got tongues wagging.
Yeah. I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense,
I don't understand. So maybe it's worth asking Prince about, because why would you claim that it is an unauthorized biography when it is wholly funded by the subject? It just doesn't make sense.
And to a massive tune. Yeah, and there it is, written in black and white, the unauthorized biography of Herman Mashaba, the outsider. So, very interesting. But this is the story that's got tongues wagging, as we say. World War III. Again.
Right, again. And it won't go away for as long as that Russia-Ukraine war is ongoing. And I think people forever on the lookout to see if there's any sort of tensions arising or rising, and of course basically keeping an eye on the protagonists for the most part, and of course those who are supporting them on both sides.
Yeah, and you know, there's also talk of former President Donald Trump, and some saying that Trump would never be, we wouldn't be in this position if Donald Trump had anything to do with it. But here's a is this a tweet from Donald Trump? Is he tweeting? Biden continues to bring the world ever closer to nuclear war. I alone am the candidate who can prevent World War III. I will end the killing and bloodshed and bring peace to Europe and the world. Donald J. Trump. So there we go. That's Trump adding his voice to it and saying he's the only man that can prevent it. But, you know, a lot of people are talking about this as well and saying he is probably the only guy that can stand up for all of this and stop fueling it, or can he? But there's a question for you. But yeah, World War III, it's been trending since the start of the Russia-Ukraine. Yeah. And then, of course, we had the G7 meeting that was taking place as well in the background.
So every time you have one of those sort of meetings, that subject comes up again.
Yeah, we saw, you know, South Africa missing, but we did see the G7 trying to, like, coax the other countries that have not taken a stance on it to stand with them against Russia.
Well, pretty unsuccessfully, some would argue. So. And of course, it's as you were. And also some remarking that the absence of Africa and its well-being on that particular agenda is something, you know, that perhaps we should talk about, but then to what extent?
So I suppose we had a representative, I think, of the African Union, but it was the Comores. So yeah, that was
African
the representative there.
Yeah. So
okay, there we go. That's it. Let's leave it there. And those are your trending topics for now.